Hi, this is Paranormal Girl. I'm about to tell you the true story of Roland Doe that inspired the story called The Exorcist. In the picturesque Belle Nour neighbourhood of St. Louis sits a beautiful colonial-style house on the Roanoke Drive. It's normal on the outside, with an all-brick exterior and white shutters framing the windows, while huge trees and neatly manicured bushes dot the yard. Yet one of the most extraordinary horror stories turned urban legends in American history transformed this house into a landmark for the macabre and provided the true story of The Exorcist. This story, the true story of The Exorcist, begins in the late 1940s in suburban Washington, D.C., with a family named Hunkeler. Their 13-year-old boy, believed to be named Roland, and later referred as pseudonymously in the literature as Roland Doe, among other names, was despondent over the loss of his beloved Aunt Harriet, a spiritualist who taught him many things, including how to use a Ouija board. In early January 1949, shortly after Harriet's death, Roland began to experience strange things. He heard scratching sounds coming from the floors and walls of his room. Water dripped inexplicably from pipes and walls. The most troubling thing was that his mattress would suddenly move. Disturbed, Roland's family sought the help of every expert they knew. The Hunkelers consulted doctors, psychiatrists, and the local Lutheran minister, but they were of no help. The minister suggested that the family seek the assistance of the Jesuits. Father E. Albert Hughes, the local Catholic priest, asked his superiors permission to perform an exorcism on the boy in late February 1949. However, Hughes stopped the rite when Roland broke off a piece of spring from the mattress that he'd been strapped down to and lashed the priest across his shoulders. A few days later, red scratches appeared on the boy. One of the scratches formed the words Louis, which indicated to Roland's mother that the family needed to go to St. Louis, or St. Louis, where the Hunkelers had relatives, in order to find a way to save their son. A cousin of the family was attending St. Louis University at the time of Roland's struggles. She put the Hunkelers in touch with Father Walter H. Holleran and Reverend William Bowden. After consulting with the university's president, these two Jesuits agreed to perform an exorcism on young Roland with the help of several assistants. The men gathered at the residence of Roanoke Drive in early March of 1949. There, the exorcist witnessed scratching on the boy's body and the mattress moving violently. These were the same types of things that had happened in Maryland when the first exorcism failed. Amid these bizarre happenings, Bowden and Holleran, according to their reports, noticed a pattern in Roland's behaviour. He was calm and normal during the day, but at night, after settling in for bed, he would exhibit strange behaviour, including screaming and wild outbursts. Clearly details that this identifies as the true story of The Exorcist. Roland would rather enter a trance-like state and start making sounds in a guttural voice. The priests supposedly also saw mysteriously flying objects in the boy's presence and noted that he would react violently when he saw any sacred object presented by the attending Jesuits. At one point during the weeks-long ordeal, Bowden reportedly saw an X appear in scratches on Roland's chest, which the priest believed signified the number 10. In another incident, a pitchfork-shaped pattern of red lines moved from the boy's thighs and snaked down towards his ankle. These types of things happened every night for more than a month, and everyone witnessing the events believed that Roland was possessed by 10 demons. The two priests never gave up as they continued the exorcism night after night. On the evening of March 20th, the exorcism reached its unhealthy new level. Roland urinated all over his bed and began shouting and cursing at the priests. Now, Roland's parents had had enough. They took him to Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis for more serious treatment. Finally, on April 18th, a miracle occurred in Roland's room at the Alexian Brothers. It was the Monday after Easter, and Roland awoke with seizures. He yelled at the priest, saying that Satan would always be with him. The priests laid holy relics, crucifixes, medals, and rosaries on the boy. At 10:45 p.m. that evening, the attending priests called on St. Michael to expel Satan from Roland's body. They shouted at Satan, saying that St. Michael would battle him for Roland's soul. 7 minutes later, Roland came out of his trance and simply said, "He's gone." The boy recounted how he had a vision of St. Michael vanquished Satan on a great battlefield. There were no more documented instances of strange occurrences and behaviour after that, and Roland went on to live a completely normal life from that moment forward.